the excitement of WrestleRadio with Tom Burke and Dan Reilly on AM 640 WNNZ.
Turn down the TV, get off that 900 line, and turn up that radio. It's WrestleRadio, Saturday afternoons here on WNNZ. Dan Reilly here. No Tom Burke this week. Well, Tom will be making a guest appearance on the program via the magic of pre-recorded tape. But Tom, taking the day off today, has a few better things to do, like probably sleep late or go to a Crusher fan club meeting in Chicopee. But Tom will be back live here in the studio next Saturday, sharing his thoughts and ideas on the world of professional wrestling. Dan Reilly here till 1 o'clock. We'll be taking your phone calls later on. And as usual, let's start off the program today with the hot news scoops of the week. A startling rumor has hit the world of pro wrestling this past week. As you all know, the WWF runs its Survivor Series pay-per-view on the day before Thanksgiving, November 27th, featuring a match between Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker. We mentioned last week that there would be a major storyline developing that night. Well, published reports this week indicate there's the possibility of yet another pay-per-view event scheduled by the WWF within 2 weeks after the Survivor Series. Now, we're hearing dates something like December 3rd. I've read December 4th, maybe December 8th. And this is just a rumor, but something is in the wind. This next pay-per-view would be at a lower price than usual events, but higher than the new hot ticket pay-per-views. Now, what wild thing has the WWF got planned? A Flair-Hogan main event as early December? Stay tuned on this one. Imagine that. 2 pay-per-views within a 2-week period for the WWF. The hot rumor is there will be another pay-per-view sometime in early December within weeks of the Survivor Series. Now, we also hear talk of a cash crunch at the WWF Tower down in Stamford, Connecticut. I mean, everybody's having a cash crunch these days. We don't know how true that is, but maybe Vince McMahon figures throw another pay-per-view out and make X amount of millions of dollars off of it. That's a story that is yet to unfold. The other major story in pro wrestling this week occurred this past Monday night at the WWF TV tapings in Wheeling, West Virginia. This marked the first time that the champ, Ric Flair, squared off against Roddy Piper after lots of conversation. The result? Flair pinned Piper in around 10 minutes with his patented leg on the ropes for added leverage. We've seen that one before, right, WCW fans? Besides Wheeling, WWF taped TV in Huntington, West Virginia, Tuesday night. Now, next week on WrestleRadio, we'll have complete details on what happened at both TV tapings. But that was sort of a monumental event. Ric Flair had his first match against Roddy Piper and beat him rather easily. Also around WWF, look for the Mountie to start up with a feud with Bret the Hitman Hart soon. The two went at it during the Wheeling TV show. Remember the Undertakers, the ex-ICW Tag Team Champions? Well, the two showed up at the WWF tapings under the name Double Trouble. And they were given a tryout at the recent tapings. I heard a crazy story this week that said the Undertakers had their ring name trademarked during their ICW stint, and that Vince McMahon is going to give them a job with the WWF in exchange for him to use their name for his star, The Undertaker. I told you it was a crazy story, but if you see 2 5'6", 400-pound guys called Double Trouble starting up soon in the WWF, maybe you know the real story. Hulk Hogan's long-awaited new movie, Suburban Commando, opened up at theaters all over the country yesterday. The Hulkster plays Chef Ramsay, a universe-saving super warrior. Reviews I've read about haven't been too bad, really. The Los Angeles Daily News said Suburban Commando was 2 stars, called the flick a step up for Hogan from his first movie, No Holds Barred, and said the kids would have a good time viewing it. So maybe all these rumors of Hogan leaving wrestling soon in favor of a Hollywood career could turn out to be true. Who knows? If any of you have seen the movie yesterday, give us a call when we open up the phone lines and let us know your thoughts on what you thought of the Suburban Commando movie. Maybe we'll get Cy Becker on the air here for his analysis of Suburban Commando. The Hulkster was on TV twice last night. He's been all over the tube lately, trying to sell tickets for Suburban Commando. First, he was on Nick at Night with an interview, and then he was on Arsenio Hall last night plugging his movie. For those of you who saw the Arsenio Hall show, there were absolutely no references to steroids, no real serious questions, just Hulk talking about his upcoming movie. One of our callers last week gave us some incorrect information about WrestleMania 8, and it now is official. WrestleMania 8 will take place Sunday afternoon, April the 5th. Tickets will go on sale this Monday for the April 5th event at the Hoosier Dome. That's in Indianapolis. So the date we gave you, I think, March 29th last week. WrestleMania will be April the 5th, Sunday afternoon from Indianapolis, the Hoosier Dome. Now, I'm going to give you a phone number in case any of you want to make a little vacation plans to attend WrestleMania. Here's the phone number to write down to call up for tickets. Area code 317-239-5151. I'll repeat that in a minute. I'm looking here at an ad that they ran in an Indianapolis newspaper for WrestleMania. They have golden ringside tickets, $125 each. Then there's $40 tickets, $20 tickets, and $12 tickets. So if any of you have plans on maybe journeying out to Indianapolis, the phone number, again, if you want to order tickets, this is next April the 5th, a long way off, but it'll be a hot ticket for sure. Area code 317-239-5151. They had a big news conference out there in Indianapolis. Mr. Perfect and Sid Justice and Mean Gene Okerlund were at the press conference, and of course no one knows what the main event or any of the matches are going to be. It's a long way off, but according to what we believe is going to happen at WrestleMania, the main event will be Hulk Hogan against Ric Flair, but a lot can happen. Another hot rumor that a buddy of mine told me this week regarding the Survivor Series, think this one over, is that Undertaker is going to beat Hulk Hogan at the Survivor Series, and then on this new pay-per-view that we just told you about a few minutes ago, Sid Vicious is going to beat Undertaker. So a lot of speculation going on in the WWF. We'll have more on WrestleRadio coming right up.
Hi there, sports fans. In late-breaking events, the newsstand announces the largest variety of sports reading in the Pioneer Valley. Header, main event, WWF Magazine, Wrestling World, and all the rest. So take a time out, sports fans, and visit a newsstand near you today.
Steaming hot. And it's the hottest show on ice. Icecapades presented by...
Listening to WrestleRadio with Dan Reilly and Tom Burke on AM 640 WNNZ. Watch it.
All right, we got some more news from the world of the WWF. We had mentioned to you that they were going to go on a European tour. In fact, the WWF last night was at Wembley, England. And tomorrow night they'll be in Birmingham, England, at the Birmingham Arena. And the match is over there in England, for those of you who would like to know what's going on. Undertaker wrestling Roddy Piper. Ric Flair against Tito Santana, also known soon as the Matador. Davey Boy Smith, of course, a big hero over in England. He's fighting Earthquake. The Nasty Boys against the Legion of Doom. Those are the 4 big matches that'll be there. They're going to run 5 shows in England, 1 in Barcelona, Spain, and a show in Paris, France. So the WWF certainly is living up to their name as the World Wrestling Federation. All of these shows, by the way, as we understand it, all 7 of these shows have been sellouts. So a lot of anticipation for the WWF going overseas. WWF is also planning on running an outdoor show in December in Honolulu, Hawaii at the Aloha Stadium. They're hoping to get 44,000 people for a big outdoor show, which I believe is going to be headlined by Ric Flair against Hulk Hogan. The upcoming matches between Flair and Hogan are being waited with a lot of anticipation. Flair and Hogan are going to wrestle 3 shows out in the West Coast. October 25th in Oakland, California, October 26th at the LA Sports Arena, and October 27th at Arizona State University in Tempe, Arizona. As we theorize, I guess they're kind of testing the waters to see what the reaction is going to be to a Flair-Hogan potential main event at WrestleMania 8. A couple of weeks ago when the WWF was here in Springfield, Texas Tornado was not on the card, and we're told that Kerry Von Erich was passing blood in his kidneys. Of course, he was also taking some time off after that due to the tragic death of his brother Chris. But Texas Tornado, I think he also missed the show last Saturday in Hartford. But he is back in action, and we're told he's at peak performance physically. The Rockers appear very unhappy with their recent lack of a push in the WWF. Shawn Michaels was back at the recent TV tapings after his knee problems, but the Rockers, as you can imagine by watching TV recently, haven't been on the tube too much. And they've been a little upset, so we'll see the future in the WWF for the Rockers. Warlord missed a couple of weekend dates last week. We're told he had a prior commitment working in Puerto Rico for the World Wrestling Council, so he missed both Hartford and Boston last weekend. Ultimate Warrior's future? Don't know, but I do know last week or two we've seen some Toys R Us commercials on TV with Ultimate Warrior on those commercials. Either they got a heck of a lot of Ultimate Warrior merchandise to sell, or he is coming back. Everybody I talk to says, no way is Ultimate Warrior coming back, but who knows in the world of pro wrestling. Randy Savage's future for the WWF is certainly clouded. He wants off the road. WWF wants him on the road on a full-time schedule. You saw the angle they did in Jack Tunney's office where Macho Man wrecked the office after being told by Tunney that he wasn't going to be reinstated. So we'll have to see what's going to happen. Macho Man is going to be doing the color commentary on Superstars of Wrestling show, but as far as getting back in the ring on a full-time schedule, no way, at least not yet. That brings you up to date on stuff going on in the WWF. Across town for the WCW, they're getting set for their big pay-per-view, October 27th. WCW's Halloween Havoc pay-per-view. Main event, Lex Luger against Ron Simmons, 2 out of 3 falls. For those of you who get Continental Cable TV around here, the front cover of Continental Cable has a picture, a good one too, of Lex Luger and Ron Simmons facing off against each other right on the front cover of Continental's Premium Channels Blueprint magazine, they call it. So WCW can't be faulted for lack of promotion for this pay-per-view. What they're trying to do on this pay-per-view is make it a real big mystery with this Chamber of Horrors match. No one really knows what's going to take place during that. They also have some mystery. Tom Zink is scheduled to wrestle the Phantom. Whoever he is, we're not sure. PN News and Big Josh are going to wrestle the Creatures, 2 unknown people. So they're attempting to base the success of this pay-per-view on a very mysterious circumstance. So yet to be seen how successful this big Halloween Havoc is going to be. That's the next pay-per-view in pro wrestling on October the 27th. Other news, they've announced the next Clash of Champions for WCW. It's going to be on TBS November 19th from Savannah, Georgia. We don't know how often they're going to be running clashes. The last Clash of Champions did not have a very good rating, but they're going to do another one November 19th from Savannah. Dusty Rhodes has been announced as a special guest referee October 12th at Atlanta's Omni. He's going to be the special ref in a Lex Luger Mr. Hughes versus Barry Windham and Ron Simmons tag team match. You know what's going to happen. Big Dusty is going to get involved, and we're told to look for a Dusty Rhodes Harley race. Can you believe it? Feud coming up soon in WCW. Ex-NWA owner Jim Crockett is back at the WCW offices. We're not sure what his position's going to be, but Jim Crockett back working full-time, we're told, in Atlanta. Axel Rotten is in now, replacing One Man Gang, who, as we told you last week, has been fired. Axel Rotten is taking One Man Gang's place in his feud with PN News. Sting, Ron Simmons, and Brad Armstrong are back. Last week they were in a New Japan wrestling group over in Japan with a brief tour. Cactus Jack is now in full-time for WCW. Dick Murdoch and Dick Slater are history, and as we mentioned, One Man Gang is out, and the Bad Street character, who is Brad Armstrong under the mask, that Bad Street character is no more for WCW. He's going to come back as a character called the Web, some sort of Spider-Man type creation. A lot going on in wrestling, as always, and that brings you up to date on what's been happening in both WWF and WCW. And let's head to those phones now. Hope you have some good questions ready. Comments, opinions, reviews of Suburban Commando. Whatever you got, we'd like to hear from you here on WrestleRadio. Let's give out those phone numbers. If you're in the greater Springfield area, it's 568-6400. 568-6400. If you're outside greater Springfield, Pittsfield, Eastern New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, down in Connecticut, give us a call. We'll pay for the call. 1-800-736-4640. 1-800-736-4640. We'll get to your phone calls in just a minute.
It's every pool owner's nightmare that R333-2888. Remember, once you graduate, their full-time placement assistants will help you find the job you want. Call 1-800-333-2888. The New England Tractor Trailer Training School in Somers, Connecticut. Do it now. Call 1-800-333-2888. 1-800-333-2888. Call now.
Andrew M. Scavelli, the president of Springfield Technical Community College, receives our 640 WNNZ Civic Salute. Mr. Scavelli is being honored as the 1991 recipient of the Award for Outstanding Service to People with Disabilities for his work with United Cerebral Palsy of Western Mass. He receives a plaque from Trophies by Carlton and congratulations from 640 WNNZ, the talk station.
Dan and Tom continue now with the action of WrestleRadio from the talk station WNNZ.
As usual, phone lines are buzzing. Let's head to line number 1. Hi, you're up first today.
Hi, I'm Chris from Holyoke.
How you doing, Chris?
I'd like to talk to you guys. First, you guys are great.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'd like to talk to you guys about maybe what's going to be the main event at Survivor Series?
Hulk Hogan against Undertaker.
Undertaker?
Yep.
Are they going to have a Survivor Series like they have every year? These, these 5-on-5 matches?
They're going to have, they're going to have 4-on-4, but it's going to be different this year. They're going to have 8 different teams, 4 guys on each team, and they're not going to come back to wrestle each other. They're not going to have a grand climax among all the survivors. So that's going to be different this year than last year.
Who's Flair going to be facing?
Let me get out my... Well, Flair's going to be part of an 8-man team. On Flair's team, Ted DiBiase, the Mountie and Warlord against Roddy Piper, Bret Hart, Virgil, and Davey Boy Smith. All right, Chris?
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, bye.
Take care. Keep listening. Hi, you're up next on WrestleRadio.
Hi, this is Jim Palmer.
Jim, how's it going?
Good. I have 2 questions.
Go.
Who was the masked skyscraper who replaced Dan Spivey at Wrestle War last year?
I'll have to go back and view my video. It doesn't, I don't remember right yet.
And my other question is, has there ever been a female referee?
Female referee?
Yeah.
Sure, Tina Marie used to be a referee for the WWF. You're right, there are not many, but she used to be in Springfield on a regular basis. Tina Marie was in there. Anything else?
No.
Thanks, Jim.
Bye.
Take care. WrestleRadio, hello.
This is Michael William.
How's it going?
Good. I heard a match between Flair and Bret Hart for the Intercontinental title. Do you think Flair would win the title?
In a legitimate wrestling match?
Yeah, I think it's going to TV taping in New Haven, Coliseum.
Oh, no, Flair won't win. No way.
He won't?
No. I think they're going to let Bret Hart do a pretty long run with his belt. The fans like him. I think they're just going to have Flair and Hogan and Flair and Piper for a while.
All right, thanks a lot.
Take care, Mike. WrestleRadio, hello.
Hi, this is Ryan from Wolverine. I got 2 questions.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Who was the Minotaur in WCW?
The Minotaur was, I believe, Steve DeSalvo. I think he wrestled 1 match. You must have seen that 1 match, huh?
Yeah.
He had the white thing in his eye, right?
Yeah.
Yep, Steve DeSalvo, I believe was his name. Next.
Yeah. What happened to the Baron Von Raschke?
Baron Von Raschke got too old to wrestle, really, but he's still doing some independent shows out in Minnesota where he lives. All right?
Okay.
Take care. Bye. WrestleRadio, hello.
Hi, this is Keith from Connecticut.
Keith, you gave me some bum information last week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How you doing?
Oh, it's fine, thanks. The 4 matches were announced for the TV taping in New Haven.
Go ahead, what are they? One caller just told us Flair against Bret Hart.
Yep. The other 3 are Natural Disasters against Legion of Doom, Hogan against Undertaker, and Sid Justice against Jake Roberts.
Okay, so we're going to have 2 of those matches here in Springfield.
Starts at 7 o'clock, and I have one other thing.
Sure.
For those listeners that are going to the Berlin Fair today...
I'm going to talk about that in a minute, okay? Go ahead.
Yeah, they have an independent show starting, I think, at 6 o'clock.
I think it's 4 o'clock, is it?
I've seen one time say 5:15, another one said 6 o'clock.
Okay. I have the complete lineup here, so I'll give that to the fans.
There's 8 matches, and there's an autograph session beforehand.
Are you going to go?
Yeah, I'm possibly going to go. It's a 15-man battle royal is the main event.
And the winner takes on Vic Steamboat.
Yep.
Maybe you'll get your chance in the ring, Keith. Who knows?
I hope.
Hey, take it easy.
Yep.
Thanks for calling. Bye. WrestleRadio, hello.
Hi, it's Bob from West Springfield.
Bob, how are you?
Pretty good. Does the Barbarian and Haku still wrestle in the WWF?
Haku has been wrestling for SWS, which is kind of an affiliated group over in Japan. Believe it or not, Haku wins a lot of matches over in Japan, and
means he is well respected in Japan. The Barbarian is still wrestling, certainly not being pushed in main events anymore.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
What some of our listeners were talking about, some big television tapings coming up in this area. First of all, for those of you who we mentioned, there's going to be some TV tapings in New Haven, but the night before, right here in Springfield, at the Springfield Civic Center, a big television taping. I think they're going to be doing Superstars of Wrestling TV taping that night, Tuesday, November 12th. The main event, Ric Flair against Roddy Piper, Jake the Snake Roberts against Sid Justice, the Legion of Doom against the Natural Disasters, and Hacksaw Duggan will be up against The Undertaker. That's going to be in Springfield. Expect a long evening for those of you who have been here before for television tapings. And the next night in New Haven, Connecticut, Wednesday night, the 13th, they're going to have TV tapings, as one of our callers just told us. I think that's going to be when they tape 3 hours worth of Wrestling Challenge. And Bret Hart will be on that card wrestling against Ric Flair. A couple of the other matches, Jake against Sid, LOD against Natural Disasters. So they'll have similar cards. Hulk Hogan against Undertaker, I believe, was also said. The night before Springfield, for those of you who are really into it, you might want to head out towards Utica, New York, where they're going to have another night of TV taping. The Survivor Series, a TV special, is the best I can figure out. That's going to be in Utica, New York on Monday night, November 11th. Then they come to Springfield November 12th for a big TV show taping. The following night, a Wednesday, November 13th in New Haven. And then if you still want to follow them, they're going to be in Providence November 14th. And in Boston, Sunday night, November 10th. So a lot of activity coming up during the month of November for the WWF, doing television tapings in our general vicinity, and we'll be talking more and more about that as time goes on. Let's take a break. We'll get back to more of your calls right after these messages.
For the annual Cub Scout field trip.
Hi, this is Woman, and you're listening to Wrestling Radio with Dan Reilly and Tom Burke on AM 640 WNNZ.
Let's head back to the phones. Hello, WrestleRadio.
Hi, this is Tom Farrell from West Lake, New York. I was wondering if you knew who the current GWF World Champion was?
That's the new one that they had last night, right?
Yeah.
I think they did. I don't know. I haven't heard yet. What have you heard?
Well, last I heard about the world champion was Baron von Steiger was the world champion, but I haven't heard anything yet since.
This is in Global now you're talking about?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with him. Who is he?
He was German wrestler. He hasn't appeared in the United States yet.
I wouldn't bet on that.
No?
I don't think so. I think there might be, perhaps, I don't know yet, that could be perhaps one of their fictitious German wrestlers that they refer to once in a while.
Also, I was wondering if you could confirm or deny reports that states Bam Bam Bigelow, Axel Rotten, Terry Gordy, and Steve Williams are coming to the WCW.
Well, Axel Rotten is in WCW. He's already been at the TV tapings this week. Who else did you say? Steve Williams?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that. Who are the other names?
Bam Bam Bigelow and Terry Gordy.
Well, Bigelow and Gordy have been in and out of the promotion once in a while. Both of those guys would rather work into Japan half the year and work independent dates. I'm sure those Gordy and Williams are invited in any time they want, but I don't think they can make enough money. They can do better doing Japan, and WCW wants guys that, will commit to working full-time for them. All right?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot.
All right, bye.
We have a special guest on our line right now we'd like to welcome. His name is Cliff Bartz. Cliff co-promotes wrestling shows up in the Burlington, Vermont area with the New England Wrestling Federation. Cliff, are you there?
Yes, Dan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you? You guys must be very happy with the program you ran there a couple of Friday nights ago with that Bill of the Butcher against the original Sheik.
We were very, very, very happy with the program. The crowd was very much into it. We had a good crowd, and we're looking to return to the Burlington area probably right around December.
Let me ask you, how do you, first of all, you as an independent wrestling promoter, how do you get involved in promoting on a small city level like that? How do you coordinate with all the agents and all the wrestlers? Tell us a little background.
Well, first of all, I'll give you a little background on myself. I had a famous uncle who was involved in professional wrestling. He worked as the Grand Wizard of Wrestling for many years. So really, you could say it's kind of in the blood. But I'm very fortunate to have a very unique partner, Gary Hathaway, who he and myself together know most of the wrestlers very well. We've worked with them for many years. And to put the show together really is basically a lot easier than you think. It's easy to get to these people and to talk to them, make a good contract with them, and arrange the bout. Burlington is an excellent facility for wrestling, we're trying to bring professional wrestling back to the town, and we hope that the fans will appreciate it.
Now, when you say it's easy, but I know it's more difficult than you're making it sound. You got to fly these guys in, I guess.
Well, definitely you have to take care of your people. We always make sure that the wrestlers, we try to make them good contracts, try to give them a good opponent to battle with, and something the fans will appreciate. I mean, there's a lot of legwork also involved, but by knowing the people and work with them in the past does make it a lot easier.
Maybe we can take our listeners behind the scenes a little bit here. How do you start negotiations with guys like the original Sheik? Do these guys work through agents? Do you just call them up?
Some of them are just independent wrestlers now, and you can pick up the phone and just call them if you know their number direct, and speak to them and agree on a contract and a price, and then you're all set.
Now, you don't have, your product is not on television up in...
Yes, it is. Delta Cable films the entire shows. They release them 2 weeks after, and the videotapes are available through Adelphi Cable.
Okay, but you don't actually have your own weekly TV show to...
No, we don't yet at this process. We're hoping to start next year.
How do you go about promoting an event like this locally?
Well, you have to have bigger and better cards and always have surprises for the fans. If you can have something like that and lined up with a good area where you can work with, you can draw from, with the fans who will support you, that also has a great deal of help. If you go into an area where they're not too big on wrestling nowadays, then we won't be back. We're right now looking at Rutland and also Bennington, Vermont. Also to do one on Cape Cod by the end of the year, Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
How was the match? Tell us a little bit about Abdullah against the Sheik. How did it go?
Well, it went as the matches go with Abdullah the Butcher. There was a lot of blood and a lot of confusion in and out of the ring. Paul Bunyan, the giant of wrestling, 7'5", 460 pounds, did interfere with the match. And we have issued a challenge to him to come back in December at the main event to fight Abdullah the Butcher in the main event. And right now we're waiting to hear from Paul Bunyan to come back with us and do battle one-on-one and don't interfere in another match we had no business coming out to.
Now, did you have Demolition Axis also on that?
We had Demolition Axe, fantastic match against Richard the Magnificent Shaolin. Axe did pin his adversary in about 13 minutes. It was an action-fought battle, and the man he went up against, Richard the Magnificent, definitely can hold his own with most grapplers. The experience and the cunningness of Axe was definitely the advantage he had, and he overcame his adversary.
Now, since Bill Eadie or Axe was on your recent card, can I assume now that there's a tie-in between your office and Global Wrestling?
Yes, we do work very close with Bill Eadie. He's a unique gentleman to work with, very professional. We have been also talking about bringing up the Patriot and the Handsome Stranger and a few other people that he has in his association, and to bring some bigger and better names to the New England area.
Now, any plans right now to come outside of the state of Vermont? Are you going to start?
Oh, yes, definitely. We're doing, like I say, we're doing a show by the end of the year on Cape Cod, Mass. We're also looking in New Hampshire and in the Rutland area, Vermont and Bennington. Also over to Rockland and Maine.
One last question I'd like to ask you, and maybe it's none of my business, but I'd like to ask you anyway. This is your first show in a long time.
No, we've had 3 this year right in Vermont. This is the 9th show we've had this year.
I didn't realize this is the first one that I'm familiar with, but the question I wanted to ask you, bringing in these name talents and paying them a lot of money, can you make money running shows like this, Cliff?
Well, it's kind of a crapshoot. If it's a good draw, you will make money. There's also a break-even point, of course, with ticket sales. Naturally, you want to bring the fans the biggest names, the best names possible, and to always give them excitement. As long as the fans appreciate, we'll always go after the biggest and best names available out there and always try to give them the best show available.
Hey, Cliff, come on down towards Hartford and Springfield. I think there's a lot of hungry fans down here.
Okay, we'll do that, Dan.
Hey, take care. Thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. Cliff Parts from the New England Wrestling Federation. Friday night, 2 Fridays ago, had a great show up there in Burlington and a little behind-the-scenes look at what goes on promoting an independent wrestling show. I don't think it's as easy as Cliff told us. But anyway, Cliff Parts from the New England Wrestling Federation. We'll be back with more of your phone calls. Let's give out those numbers again, okay? Talk Wrestling here on WNNZ. If you're in the Springfield area, 568-6400, 568-6400. Outside of the area, call us toll-free, 1-800-736-4640. 1-800-736-4640. Attention, do-it-yourself homeowners. Will your home be safe?
And you're listening to WrestleRadio with Dan Reilly and Tom Burke on AM 640 WNNZ.
Let's head back to the Bones on WrestleRadio. Hi, you're up next. Thanks for waiting.
Hi, this is Mark from Ludlow.
Mark, how you doing?
Hi, good. In the Chamber of Horrors match at Halloween Havoc,
Yep.
why is Barry Windham on Oz One-Man Gang and Diamond Studs team?
That's a real good question. The answer is that the Turner Group, who owns WCW, made up those matches before he turned good. And Turner doesn't want any more fooling around with main events as far as the characters go. Remember the Ric Flair thing back at the Baltimore Bash?
Yep.
So I don't know how they're going to script it out. I really don't. But Windham does not belong on that side, and it'll be interesting to see what they do. But no, Barry Windham belongs on the good guy side, not on that group, and it's kind of ridiculous.
And I was watching a WWF match that happened a couple years ago. In the match, the ring announcer was Gary Capetta. How long did he work for WWF?
I'm not sure how many years. Gary Capetta was a school teacher out on Long Island. I guess he's got wrestling in his blood, and as you know, he now works for WCW. But I think him and Howard Finkel are the two best ring announcers in the business, don't you?
Yeah.
I think they're both excellent. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yep, thank you.
WrestleRadio, hello.
Hello?
Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, my name's John Latigliano. I'm calling from Dover Plains, New York.
Where's that near? Where's that town near, John?
Dover Plains, it's by,
Dixie?
yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And I was wondering if you see Herb Abrams' UWF folding in the future.
Everything seems to point in that direction, don't you think?
Yes, they've been airing many repeats of their programs lately.
I'm told they had a show down in the Bronx, New York a few weeks ago that drew about 100 people. I heard half of them got in for free. I keep hearing stories that they're going to do more television tapings down in Florida, but I don't think it looks good for Herb Abrams.
Yeah, I don't either. Guys, I heard about him not paying the Manatee Civic Center.
Yeah, and I haven't heard that he did pay them yet either.
Nope.
So as far as I know, that bill is still unpaid, and when you hear a guy not paying his bills, that doesn't bode well for TV, because, TV production is so expensive.
Yep.
Anything else?
Just one more thing.
Sure.
What do you see in the future of WCW since Vince McMahon's getting most of their wrestlers?
Right now, WCW, I keep saying this to myself, that they're at their low ebb, and every week it seems to get worse. Their TV product in the last few weeks has been a little bit better, but I don't hear people talking about WCW. Do you hear people talking about, Luger and Simmons?
Nope. I usually ask people about wrestling. They always say Hulk Hogan.
Well, that's a typical thing, but a lot of wrestling fans, like myself, really love WCW, loved it for the, real wrestling, the sheer athleticism of it, but I don't know, lately with Ric Flair coming over, it's almost like WCW's really got one foot in the grave, but I think the good thing they have going for them is Ted Turner's money, so as long as he wants to continue to plow money into it, I think they'll still be around for a while.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for listening.
Yep.
WrestleRadio, hello.
This is Kevin from New Britain, Connecticut. You know where Chris Adams went?
Chris Adams promoting a few shows down in the Texas area, and promotes them within 50-mile radius or so of Dallas, and otherwise he's out of wrestling. Thanks for the call. WrestleRadio, hello.
Hi.
Hi, you're on the air.
This is Ed from Adams.
Ed, how you doing?
Pretty good. Whatever happened to Wade Hansen?
He's still alive, I know that. That's good news. Remember him and Rip Hawk?
No.
Him and Rip Hawk were a great tag team back in the World Wrestling Federation days, the WWF. I don't know what he's doing right now. Certainly he's out of wrestling.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, thank you.
Take care, Ed.
Yeah.
WrestleRadio. Hello, you're on the air. Hey, our friend Tom Burke not here today, as I mentioned. Tom taking the day off. But, Tenacious Tom couldn't keep him away from the microphones. Tom made us up a little report, and he's got a few interesting tidbits for us.
Bob Backlund called WrestleRadio this past Thursday to tell us he just returned from a tour of Japan. He wrestled one match in Sapporo, Japan for the Universal Wrestling Federation International Promotions. He wrestled their top ace wrestler, Nobuku Takada, before a sellout crowd. The match ended after less than 2 minutes with a disputed finish. A rematch is scheduled in Tokyo on December 26th. We'll have information about that forthcoming. Bob Backlund also informed our listeners of WrestleRadio hello, and said that he would be back with us in an interview segment in the very near future. We're looking forward to having the champ back on with us at a later show. Makan Singh also sent us word that he is currently wrestling in a tournament in Hamburg, Germany. A tournament of 53 days, promoted by Steven Hansen. He's not the fan favorite. He's not Norman. He is Makan Singh. For global wrestling fans, and over there in Germany, he's using the moniker Klondike Mike. He's the most hated and feared wrestler in the tournament, from what I've been told. You know, over in Germany and Austria, they have multiple-day tournaments of wrestling. Some of them up to 53, 54, even 60 days. Can you imagine wrestling here in the greater Springfield area in one city for more than one day? A 53-day tournament in Springfield? What do you think, Dan? Well, we'll have to see what happens. But you know, it's not uncommon in the European countries. Here in the States, it's been only tried once, as far as I know, and that was in Buffalo, New York in the 60s when Pedro Martinez promoted a 4-day tournament and did very well. The WCW tapes are being seen in Quebec, in Canada, with a French voiceover. Montreal wrestler Richard Charlin, who wrestled for the WWF some years back, is doing the French commentary. The WWF French-Canadian wrestling show also has a voiceover. The voiceover is done by none other than the Flying Frenchman himself, longtime fan favorite of many of you folks who are past, shall we say, 35, none other than Ed Carpentier. And sometimes sidekick Gino Brito also gives him a hand on the mic. An interesting news item came across my desk from Japan is that Antonio Inoki, who is a member of the parliament there and a former big wrestler over there who wrestled probably all the greats, may be donning the tights again. And this time, there is speculation that it will have a tie-in with the WCW New Japan card for the first part of 1992. It may be that Inoki will be facing either Harley Race or maybe Dory Funk. We'll have to see what happens. It'd be something with Dory Funk, because the Funk brothers have been aligned with the Baba promotions for many, many years, and the Inoki group is their major opposition. I'll be back at WrestleRadio next week live. So, Dan, it's all yours now. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you, Tom Burke. Tenacious Tom will be back here in the studio fielding your phone calls next week here on WrestleRadio. Thanks for the good report. Always something a little bit unusual from Mr. Burke. Caller earlier today mentioned a show in Berlin, Connecticut, just outside of Hartford. It's going to be a show. It's going to be free. What do you see free these days? You have to pay to get into the Berlin Fair, which is going on this weekend, I understand. But this afternoon, I've heard 4 o'clock, I've heard 5 o'clock, I've heard 6 o'clock, not quite sure. They're going to have what they call Star Wars 1991, the Battle of Berlin. They're going to have a 15-man battle royal with the winner facing Vic Steamboat. Also on that card today for the group, Godfather Tony Capone battles Cousin Luke. Johnny Rods, remember him, WWF fans? He'll battle Skull Von Krust. The Dream Girl against Elektra. Tommy Dreamer against Johnny Goldfinger. Chris Michael against Abdullah Dean. Tag team events with the Tasmaniac and Wild Thing against Broadway Sonny Blaze and Mr. Electricity. Free autographs and free photos. That's this afternoon, late afternoon sometime, in Berlin, Connecticut, just outside of Hartford at the fairgrounds. For those of you who like to see some of the smaller groups, I'm sure it'll be a good show. Let's head back to the phones. WrestleRadio, hello.
Hi, this is Aaron from Springfield.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, remember how last year, right before the Survivor Series, this dude was suspended?
Yep.
Is there any chance he will be coming back?
No, but I hear a hot rumor he is thinking about coming back to WCW. I don't think you're going to see him again in the WWF. No.
Okay. And after Demolition took the third member, they kind of like fell real bad.
I think having Mr. Fuji as their manager didn't help them either.
No. Do you think, like, Axe and Smash will get back together?
I don't think so. The third guy, Crush, is out. He's working out in Portland, Oregon now. Axe is working for the Global Group, and Smash is, I don't know what he's doing lately. So I don't think so. I think you're right. When they brought that third guy in, they really lost their steam, and I think they had a poor manager in Mr. Fuji, too, which hurt them.
Okay. And if the Ultimate Warrior doesn't come back to the WWF, do you think there's a possibility he and Sting will make the tag team again?
I'd love to see that. I think Ultimate Warrior, he's popular enough that he should be wrestling somewhere, and I think would do WCW good to bring him back on. And you remember the name of the group when they first started?
Blade Runners.
Well, you know your history, yeah. I think it's always in the realm of possibility to have a Sting Ultimate Warrior tag team. We'll have to wait and see. Aaron, thanks for calling.
Okay.
Hey, we'll be back with more WrestleRadio right after this.
When you're looking or thinking about a job, it's kind of a confidential thing. The New England Tractor Trailer Training School
Radio with Tom and Dan on AM 640 WNNZ.
Now, for those of you who have been following the superstar Billy Graham saga, he's scheduled to appear as a guest this Tuesday night on ESPN's Up Close show hosted by Roy Firestone. Graham is still talking about a possible lawsuit regarding his physical ill health, which he attributes to massive doses of steroids. And before we leave, anybody see Candid Camera recently with Bam Bam Bigelow on it? He was a guest on Candid Camera. He did a real funny routine with host Dom DeLuise. And one last thing, will someone tell Channel 38 in Boston that at 9:30 on Saturday mornings, they run WCW wrestling and not WWF wrestling? It's been wrong in TV Guide ever since the show started, and if they don't have it in right, no one's going to know to watch it. Hey, that's it for today. Dan Reilly here. Tom Burke will be back next week. See you next week on WrestleRadio.